Hello, friends. We are studying Thomas Gray's poem Elegy written in a country churchyard. Last week, in 3 lectures, we had studied up to the 18th stanza. Today, I start with the fourth part, which begins with the 19th stanza of the poem. This 19th stanza is very, very important and is asked for explanation in the examination. I recite this stanza for you. Far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife, their sober wishes never learn to stray along the cool sequestered vale of life. They kept the noiseless tenor of their way. Now, far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. Ignoble is opposite of noble. So meaning of ignoble is dirty. And strife is struggle, fight. So, and what is this madding crowd? Madding means the mad people, the crowd of the mad people. So what is the crowd mad after? The crowd is mad after money, material pursuits. But these people, these small rustics, these people living in a small hamlet, they kept themselves away from economic and other competitions of the world. Now these competitions which took place in cities, they were below their dignity, and so they kept away from these mad races leading to power and money and all that. They are sober means sincere. Their sincere wishes means the sincere and sober wishes of these villagers, they never went out of way. Stray means roam here and there uselessly. So these people lived a disciplined life. They did work and they worked hard, but they never learned to go astray or roam about uselessly. And so they followed the rigors of life in a very disciplined manner along the cool sequestered way of life. So vale means valley of life. So their life was, very controlled, very cool, and they kept themselves away from the ignoble struggles of the world, and they kept the noiseless means silent, tenor means style of their way, just like the city people, how they cheat others and they make noise about their products and other commercial activities. But these people, they kept their silent and dignified style of life. And now we proceed to the 20th stanza. I recite the 20th stanza for you. Yet even these bows from insult to protect some frail memorial still erected high, with uncouth rhymes and shapeless sculpture decked, implores the passing tribute of a sigh. We remember that the poet is seated in a graveyard, and the poet is inquiring about the tombs, the graves of these simple people, of these rural people, of these rustic people. And so, because a human being is after all a human being, so the human being must have a dignity. So these villagers understand it. They don't have money to build memorials, but even then, to protect their bones from insult, to protect the bones of the dead people from insult, they do erect, means they do construct some small weak memorial on the graves of the dead people, and they write some uncouth. Uncouth means not very polished, but very simple rhymes, means poems, and shapeless sculpture decked, means they do create some type of tomb which is not very artistic, which is not very good looking, but yet they do erect some tomb on the graves of the dead person, and that tombstone implores, means requests the passing tribute of a sigh, so that anyone who passes by the graveyard may pay his tribute, his respect to the dead persons. I proceed to stanza number 21. I recite this stanza for you. Their name, their years spelt by the unlettered muse, the place of fame and elegy supply, and many a holy text around she strews that teach the rustic moralist to die. So in last stanza we knew that okay, these people are not rich and they cannot construct very expensive memorials or tombs on the graves of the dead persons, but still they do write some poems, some poems which may not be very polished, but still they do make some type of poems around on the tombstone, their name. So what is written on the tombstone? The name of the dead person, how long he lived, written by the unlettered muse. Now this muse, M capital, is the poet, and it is personified, and the gender given to the muse is the feminine gender. So the uneducated, or rather say half qualified poet writes all these things on the tombstone, the place of fame and elegy supply, and they write an elegy, means a sad song, and where the person lived, and all these things, all these informations are given on the tombstone, and many a holy text, means text from the Bible, psalms from the Bible, are written by the muse, which teach the rustic moralist to die, and those things from Bible which say that death is certain and man is mortal. This type of things are written on the tombstone by the half or rather less educated poet of the village. I proceed to 22nd stanza. I recite this stanza for you. For who to dumb forgetfulness a prey, displeasing anxious being ever resigned, left the warm precincts of the cheerful day, nor cast one longing lingering look behind. Now these simple rural people, rustic people, they have become a victim of dumb forgetfulness. Means dumb means silent, and forgetfulness means they are easily forgotten. This pleasing anxious being ever resigned. So this person who is about to die, so he has resigned to his luck, means earlier he was active in his life, but now he has secluded himself, maybe because of some disease or something like that, or some bad health, left the warm precincts of the cheerful day. So he left the happy or the active area of his life, and nor cast one lingering look behind. So, and this person did not look back at his life with a desire. I proceed to stanza number 23. On some fond breast the parting soul lies, some pious drops the closing eye requires. Even from the tomb, the voice of nature cries, even in our ashes live their wonted fires. But these people, they never look back. They never have desires unfulfilled. So these are the contented people, these are the satisfied people. But even then, the dead person wishes to depend on some person whom that dead person loves most, and they also want that somebody should cry, somebody should weep in their memories. And so even the dead people also aspire that somebody remembers, somebody who is dear to them remembers them after their death. And so in ashes, that is even from the grave, they have some desires that they should be remembered after their death. For thee, I start stanza number 24. For thee who, mindful of the unhonored dead, dost in these lines their artless tale relate, if chance by lonely contemplation led, some kindred spirit shall enquire thy fate. So the poet suddenly turns around and asks somebody who may be passing by. So for the dead person, so the poet inquires the passerby and asks him, say, okay, you are interested, you think about the manner in which these tombstones have been raised, and you know that the dead person has not been sufficiently honored. So in these simple lines, artless means simple stories, you tell the life history of the dead person. And so if by chance some similar spirit inquire about the fate, the luck of the dead person, so that person who just by the lonely contemplation, by thinking, if he inquires about the dead person, so what is to be narrated about the dead person. And I hope we shall study what is spoken about the dead person in the next stanza, in the next lecture. Goodbye till then.